In 10 seconds, in 9, in 8, in 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Happy 1994!
Yo, what's happening, everybody? Welcome back to 1994 Was Yesterday podcast, discussing hip hop through the decades and the culture that surrounds it with a little flicker of current affairs. Follow us at 1994 Was Yesterday on Instas. Subscribe on YouTube, Apple Podcast app, Spotify, and yeah, that's the lot. What's up, G?
Not much, just adjusting my microphone because I didn't do it prior.
Yeah.
Over here slacking.
MC Slack.
MC slacking. What's new?
Not a whole lot, man. Yeah, just doing the thing as per usual.
Doing the damn ting.
Yeah. Dad life, hashtag, you know.
Word. Dad life.
But aside from that, how are you?
Good. You know when you about to sneeze and then it's like creeping up and I can feel it creeping but it's not coming out?
Yeah.
I hate that.
Oh,
I think hell is just that feeling. Like you in a room by yourself and just that feeling for eternity. You know, it was a pretty good concept of hell. Not that I believe in hell, but someone said it's everything that you love, or it's something that you love the most, but an overabundance of that. So you end up like for eternity. So let's say your favorite thing in the world is Skittles.
Right.
It's just you in a room of just Skittles forever.
Well, forever is a long time. Though you definitely would get pretty sick with that shit. That's for sure.
Exactly. I think this is a creaky wood table. So whenever we lean on it, it creaks.
Adds to the flavor.
Yep. That old house, college, colonial.
Vinyl vibe.
Oh, yeah. Vinyl crackle with podcasts.
Yeah.
There we go. Let's not make this sound, though.
Yeah.
It just sounds wrong. So.
Well,
Let's jump into it.
Current affair-y type-ish, just a couple of things. I saw that Deontay Wilder has decided to call in the third fight with what's his face, with Fury for a rematch. Triggered the rematch. That's the one. So apparently, within their contract, he has 30 days to trigger a rematch, and he's done that. And it's supposed to be in July. And apparently, he's supposed to be fight. So the way I read it is that there's another guy he's supposed to fight just after July. And then if he loses against him, that guy then fights Anthony Joshua. No, sorry. Let me start again. Oh. If Fury beats Wilder again, which,
for the third time.
Which, I mean, let's be real, he will.
For the third time.
Third time is doesn't even need a charm. It's just guaranteed, I reckon.
He'd be in the first time. Just saying.
Yeah, exactly. Don't need no second try or third. But nah, so like when Fury beats Deontay, and then if this guy, whoever this guy Deontay's fighting, he then goes on to fight Anthony Joshua. Then if Anthony Joshua beats him, then that means the next fight would be Fury and Anthony Joshua, which is like the one. Do you remember what you said last week? Yeah, that's it, yeah.
From Bulgaria.
So it could be the King of England fight, which would be
super sick.
That would be amazing.
Super keen for that. That's money in the bank.
Oh, all the monies, man. All the monies. But pretty much the complete opposite of fighting. We just had Mardi Gras, parade, big thing.
Fighting for something different.
Fighting for something different.
Fighting for their right to party.
That little,
you know what I mean?
I see what you did there. Very nice. Yeah, did you check it out at all? Or?
That day was release day for Kansas. We had a little party on my balcony. And we did it that day, especially because if we have a party, lights and loud music, no one would complain because it's Mardi Gras day. Everybody's partying.
Smart.
I'm living in 2030. But my wife went and she said it was incredible. The drag queens were looking phenomenal.
I can imagine.
There's so much respect that goes into like being able to put
Sure.
that amount of makeup and like kill it in those heels, and also be like 6'4"
Yeah.
and built like a brick shit house.
And be walking for along like the street for however long,
Yeah.
dancing the whole time.
Incredible.
So,
You'd put me on a pair of ice skates right now and watch me struggle.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Then again, we both blade, so
Oh, that's true.
we got a bit of an advantage. Put a
yeah.
skateboarder on a pair of rollerblades
There we
and
go.
watch him do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Can't.
Sorry.
But yeah, big ups to Mardi Gras and all the organizers and stuff. Like, I didn't check it out, but I've been pretty much every year since I came to Australia. It's always a good time, good event, good cause,
Super good time.
all the rest. So shout out to
New York,
them.
we have Pride Week.
Yeah.
The Pride Parade is like the biggest gay parade, one of the biggest gay parades in the world. And that was a blast every year. It's cool because whether you're gay or not, you still go out and
Yeah,
represent, which is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For the fellow human being, which is
Exactly.
what it's all about.
For our brothers and sisters, whether
Yeah.
they like brothers or sisters.
Oh, my God. Write that shit down.
Come on, somebody. It's the Holy Spirit.
So coronavirus is still mental. It's everywhere. Everything's going on. But I read, and this plays into the forever America bashing that I consistently do.
Keep it coming because
Well,
they're not my favorite.
I read that in America, Corona, as in the beer, Corona, is dropping in sales because people are thinking that coronavirus is related to Corona, and they're literally losing millions in sales.
Dummy.
Isn't that crazy?
Dummies.
I mean, and this is the thing. Everyone who's listening, who's watching, you might think, oh, that's a bit far-fetched, etc. But survey has it that apparently it's like 30-something% of Americans seem to think that chocolate milk comes from brown cows. Facts. Look it up. Google
Wait,
that shit.
hold the phone. So you're saying that strawberry milk doesn't come from pink cows?
I'm telling you, that's not the case, my man. That's not the case.
Fuck this. I'm leaving.
Get out of here.
No, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's
so-
something that you think when you're like 4 years old.
Yeah. And then you realize
Brown cow's chocolate milk.
that it's not. It's just
Hilarious.
like flavoring or the powder or whatever from Nesquik or Milo.
You
or
reckon they're
whatever.
just taking a piss and like saying, yes, we believe this?
Maybe like 3%.
Like flat earthers. They don't
Yeah.
really believe it. I
Yeah.
think they're just taking a piss. They have to.
I just refuse to believe that flat earthers believe
Yeah.
what they believe. Maybe like 1% of all the flat earthers believe.
And it's the kid that was born and his parents said the earth is flat. And then that's this specific 1% that believe it.
Yeah.
Fucking
Ridiculous.
I just see a news article here talking about Australia records its first coronavirus death as man dies in Perth hospital. I am, to be honest with you, I'm choosing to ignore the entire thing. So it's a lot of fear mongering. It's a real thing. I'm not saying it's not. I just like every news report is about like coronavirus. Is it near you? You know what I mean? Like, and I'm just going like, well, let's see how it goes. Because that's what everything happens like that.
Mad cow disease.
Mad cow
SARS.
disease, swine flu, SARS, other stuff. You know what I mean? They're like, oh,
Myriad.
water gives you cancer now. You're like, all right, whatever, man.
Yeah.
You just got to choose to tune it out.
Yeah, I definitely like, you know, shout out to the dude's family or the rest of it. Like that sucks. But
Yeah.
on the same token, yeah, I agree. I think that it is definitely being blown. Well, not definitely. I can't say definitely, but it's being, in my humble opinion, being blown out of proportion. I think that people definitely didn't act quick enough, government-wise, and everything. Like,
Do they ever act quick enough, though?
Well,
they
this-
put systems in place where you can't act quick. It has to go through 30 other houses before it.
Yeah,
anything gets
exactly.
put
And,
in.
and that's the thing. Like, I feel like as human nature is that you don't really fix something until you see it almost get as bad as it can. And you're like, oh shit, we need to do something. It's like, yeah, but we've been told you. But anyway, yeah. Shout out to the family. Big shame, but hopefully that'll be the last one in Australia. They, from my understanding, that all the deaths are usually people who are already sick and they're elderly. I mean, 76 isn't necessarily that old, but it's getting there.
I'll probably die by 76.
You reckon?
Yeah.
I reckon
I'm hoping not.
I'm gonna be there till like I'm 110.
Really?
I just
Chill. Not
like
me.
not necessarily that I want to be 110. That's a long time, but Jesus, I bet you I will. Classic.
Classic Holland. Classic Holland.
classic.
I'm aiming to bounce here. Once Megan's ready, I'm out.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
I'll pass when Honey passes, bro. I'll just like I'll call it a day.
Not
Like,
being,
listen,
not
guys.
being mean, but you might not have what, maybe 5-10 years. Like, chill, bro, chill.
Nah, that dog is life, bro. That dog is life. I don't want to live this life without her. I don't know. What on a side note, what do you think about voluntary euthanasia?
Yeah, I back it for sure.
Yeah,
like
me too.
I have done ever since I sort of learned the phrase at school, like at high school or secondary school.
I just learned it like last year.
Really?
No, like 3 years ago.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
No, but like I've had this conversation with a bunch of people many times, and it's like, for me, it's just that it's that age-old thing. Like, it's your body, blah blah blah. Like, how should you and why should you let a government that is, you know, if we're going to go down that route, not really a thing anyway.
Yeah.
It's just a construction, man-made, right? So, yeah, you should be able to do what you want. Like, yes, you know, I think there should be like a checklist thing or some shit. I don't know. I'm not.
Mental health check.
Yeah, something like that. Like,
Before
I'm not, yeah, I'm not like a doctor person, but it should be like I should be able to write something right now that says, if I'm in any state that I'm unable to
Oh, for sure.
make
Yeah,
my own
that's-
decision.
Yeah.
And I think that's where the problem is that you can't put that. I don't know. Again, anyone out there who knows anything, let us know. Slide in the DMs, in the comments. But I think that you can't, unless you're sick, you can't just be like, hey, this is what I want to happen.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because, well, firstly, I think there's only a handful of places that you can do it.
I know a place you could do it real cheap.
In your bedroom?
In your bathtub with a toaster? No, just kidding. Not joking about suicide. No, there's a beer brewery company selling euthanasia kits, and it's legal here in Australia. Vice did a documentary on it.
What?
They're called like Blue Dog Brewery or something like that. And turns out the same chemical, silent and very deadly chemical that you use to brew beer, you can put that into a face mask. Breathing it in for about 30 seconds, you pass away very peacefully, and there's no trace of anything in your system. Obviously, Vice reporting on it and putting that out there is like,
Yeah, that's deep.
yeah, that's probably quite dangerous because next thing you know, the mafia is going to pick that up and start.
Yo, we got these face masks.
We're just going to
Y'all
like
should try one.
coronavirus face mask.
yeah.
Let's sanitize your body, send you up to heaven. No, but it's that documentary is pretty good. I recommend it for anyone. It's just like 12 minutes long or whatever, but it's about a lady who has it in her closet, and she goes like, yeah, when I'm ready to pass, she's like, I'm 80 years old. When I'm ready to pass, I want all my family to be next to me. I want to say my goodbyes, put the mask on, breathe for about 30 seconds, fall asleep, and let them, it's the most peaceful way as opposed to being in a hospital bed convulsing or being a vegetable, not being able to hear anybody. I told Megan, I said, the moment if I am in a coma or something like that, God forbid, knock on wood, just let me go. Because I believe in something higher anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm
You're good either way.
Exactly, yeah. So it's like and even what I do believe, if it doesn't exist, it doesn't matter because I still live my life rad. You know what I mean? So it's like at the end of the
winning.
day, exactly, I'm winning either end. And the whole reason I'm living this life is to eventually get to that place where I can spend eternity with God. So it's like, if I'm a veggie, just let me win. Don't keep me on this earth pumping fake air into my lungs for no reason. It's actually really selfish to keep someone alive and going like, oh, well, hopefully they wake up 14 years later from their coma. It's like, just let them.
Yeah, to what extent? Like,
so that you can hug them again?
Yeah, like the ramifications of them waking up 14 years later is mega. And then not only that, like the cost, I mean, at least in America, the cost on the person keeping the person alive is unreal, which, I mean, it's a shame when you have to come down to deciding money-wise whether someone lives or dies or whatever. But to bring it back round, man, like, yeah, I definitely think euthanasia is a good thing. I think that you've got to put things in place because I think it could definitely be mishandled and misused. But yeah, speed it up because there's no time like the present.
No time like the present.
But yeah, on that somber note, moving on.
Pun intended.
Yeah.
Moving on.
So I read the other day that here in Australia, vinyl sales are predicted to take over CD sales within the music industry.
Rad.
Not surprised.
I'm not surprised one bit.
I feel like vinyl is one of those things that it's kind of like a book. It's authentic. You always want to have that. Even if you listen to it once, you're like, money well spent for some weird reason. Like I have books. I definitely have books that I bought and I haven't even read. Dead set.
Same though.
You know what I mean? And it's just, but it's like, oh yeah, I'll get to it one day type thing.
Yeah.
I feel like nothing comes with a CD input anymore.
CDs are actually a pretty shitty invention though. They eventually die off because of the laser in the CD reader.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I definitely rinsed out a bunch.
Hella CDs, bro.
Yeah.
Dance Hall Hits 1993. Holes in that CD. There's holes.
You remember how like the silver stuff used to like fall apart from the disc as well?
It's the holes. Like that, it'll burn the silver stuff off. Yeah. Remember what is it called? Those like anti-skip CD players when those came out. Because remember, you used to have to hold that CD player like a glass of water. Yeah. Like you're like, you're running down the street and you've got a gimbal in that hand. You're like, oh, please don't skip, and that thing will skip. And an anti-jog, you're over here flinging it around by the headphones, like, yeah, this is wild.
Yeah, that was. It was crazy that mini disc never took off because if you think mini disc is actually the one, like it was a protective disc, like with its casing. For anyone who doesn't know, anyone who's a bit younger, like mini disc, Google it, you'll see what we mean.
It's a mini disc.
Actually, I'll throw a picture up here of a mini disc player, mini disc and player, I guess.
It's like if a GameCube game and a floppy disk had a baby.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Floppy drive, I should say.
Weird that it didn't pick up because it was MP3, right? And they held heaps of shit on there.
I had one of those players. My dad gave me one, Sony one. It was rad. I used to think I was the shit.
Yeah, of course.
And all these kids were like, what the hell is that concoction? Like, well, I'm from the future.
Well, I've got 5 mini discs at home.
Really?
Right? Like, as in right now in my house where I live now. And one of them has an album that me and my boys did back in the day. Scheme 1, represent Tunbridge Wells, son.
Dang.
And Switch 8, shout
put
out.
That shit on Spotify,
Tommy Who,
bro.
shout out.
Just put it up.
I don't know how to get it off because I need a mini disc player.
Just order one from AliExpress. I'm sure you could find one.
Oh yeah, true. Well, on there, Scheme 1, son. But yeah, no, it's funny how like I've got all this. There's other tunes on there and beats and stuff, and I can't even remember what they are, but I know there's shit on there, which is crazy.
That's wild.
Yeah. But yeah, vinyls, man. I think people like to have something tangible, and I think a CD is not tangible enough. Just like videos, people don't care about videos, but I think people care about DVDs, which is really weird. You know what I mean?
I couldn't care about videos or DVDs. I was always quite a pirate.
Oh yeah, straight up. Like
hard drives mean the most to me.
Yeah.
Straight up.
But yeah, I think what will end up happening is CDs will become like a commodity. So a city would have like 1, maybe 2 CD stores, and they hold every CD ever. And there'll be like some small little shack down a laneway, like an alleyway, and just somewhere. You know what I mean? Like that's how I see CD sales going in the future.
Or it'll be record stores that sell CDs as opposed to CD stores selling records out the back.
Yeah.
You know,
CDs are dead, son.
I went to Groove in Auckland, Groove Records, the sickest record store I've ever been to. And this is, I loved, my home record shop was Generation Records. Groove was rad. They had like Tyler album on the wall. They had like all these like sick like rap albums on the wall. I was like, I felt like staying there. Shout out to Auckland.
You know, talking about things on the wall, when I was growing up, I had like all the posters and shit of rappers and stuff on my wall, you know, like that. And then on one of my walls, I was like, oh, this can be my feature wall. And every single CD that I had, I blue tacked to the wall. So then all we had to do is just open the case and then
That's
take the CD
sick.
out. Like,
I love that. Oh,
we have a
microphone dropping.
Technical difficulty. But yeah, so I used to have that.
Let's keep that monitoring on.
Oh, we
Hello.
good.
Yep, we are right.
We
Sorry.
back. Sorry about that, people. We had a bit of a technical difficulty. But yeah, so and then I had all the CDs, and then in the middle of all the CDs, I only had like 6 or 7 vinyls, and I had all the vinyls in the middle. So then all the CDs were around it, like, and
That's cool.
It was a big wall, like, and like it was mostly covered.
Sounds like a big wall.
It was fucking sick, actually. Like, you know, I toot my own horn too much, but that was dope.
Sounds dope, my G.
But yeah, vinyl, sick. I'm about it.
Yep.
Vinyl's sick.
It ain't going anywhere.
It
was just sleeping.
But talking about people not going anywhere, MADLIB, been around since day.
Great segue.
Thank you.
That's
I try.
award winning.
Oh, I see what you did there. Award winning.
Hello.
How
you doing?
MADLIB, you tell us about MADLIB, my man.
MADLIB is one of the greatest producers of all time, as voted by tons of people. I think he got interviewed by Complex or Genius or Vox or one of these. They're all the exact same. They're all yellow.
Yeah.
Why are all the logos yellow? Anyway, it was
That's
Complex or something like that, and they voted him Best Producer Alive 2019. It's weird that it's 2019 because when MADLIB started was a very fucking long time ago. The beauty of MADLIB is he's worked with the likes of MF Doom. He's worked with he's worked with a lot of people. He doesn't box himself in. He's not a boom bap producer. He's known as the crate digger, as the beat selector, the loop digger. He is an all-time great. One of my favorite producers of all time. He did Freddie Gibbs that collab, so the Freddie Gibbs MADLIB collab. So he done Pinata and Bandana. Fucking incredible albums, man. And everyone thought they were kind of sleeping on MADLIB for a bit because he was doing his own rhymes, and he's always had this like real lo-fi style that's just kind of coming back in now again. Yeah. My favorite thing though about MADLIB, and I didn't know this until the day before yesterday, is so I've started making music on my iPad, right? So that was mainly my source of production. And I've talked to plenty of friends and people that went like, oh, well, eventually you got to move up to, an MPC. Or what DAW are you using? Are you using Ableton? Or are you using... And it's just like... Yeah. They're just so about the gear. And, it was like iPad production wasn't really a thing. I started producing on my iPad and my iPhone because of Steve Lacy from the internet. He's produced Kendrick. He's produced stuff for tons of people. MADLIB, in his interview, the guy was saying, oh, so there's a rumor that goes around that you've been producing, or that you produced Bandana on your iPad. He says, like, for the past 7 or 8 years, everything I've produced is on the iPad. Boom.
There you go.
7 or 8 years. That's a lot of his catalog.
Yeah.
Produced on the iPad.
That's like, we're going back to, like, iPad is only just, like, had, like, a pro version. So, meaning that, it's a lot more powerful. It's more like a computer as opposed to, I don't know, an iPad. So that's crazy, man. Like, so he was doing it on, like, iPad 2s or whatever. Yeah.
Wow. iPad Air, all that kind of stuff.
Wow. That's crazy.
And the funniest, I just sent that to like all the friends. Yeah. That kind of have either mentioned that, you know, I needed to move on from iPad, or kind of like nudged me away from iPad, because I said, you know, your craft will be better using some kind of professional equipment, which I followed what they said. But I also think now, like when I was producing on the iPad, I produced tons and tons of stuff because it's all right there. You don't need to, but people tend to, I don't know, the more complicated it gets, the more like official you are. So I started introducing other modes of doing things, and I started slowing down my process. And now like I halt to like making, you know, 2 beats a month, as opposed to before I was making 3 beats a week.
Well, yeah, that's interesting, because I remember before you started messing with some of the machines and stuff alongside the iPad, it was literally like every other day you'd be like, oh, I got this new beat. I got this new beat. Or you'd show me a bunch of shit that you've been working on, and you'd have like so many that like you'd have to pick from, and then like all the rest of it. Yeah, legit. And then like, yeah, for sure. Like now you say it, I realized that, your production was slower. Not necessarily,
slower.
Doesn't mean that's a bad thing, but it's like, also if you're taking sometimes when you take too much time over things, it becomes less productive. And maybe that's what it is, because you're trying to fine tune all this stuff using the machines and stuff, and it's like, but on the iPad, like
it was just like, it is
seamless.
What it is. Yeah, exactly. And that's what I'm learning now that I got that re-inspo from MADLIB, obviously being a producer that I really, really admire. I went, you know what, man, like I don't need as much equipment. I actually sold off about $1,000 worth of equipment in the past couple of days.
Amazing.
Just because I realized like you start to get what they call gear acquisition syndrome, where like you feel like getting more gear is going to make you that much better. Like if you look at the gear behind me, this is not my gear. This is my producer's gear. Producer, friend, manager, whatever. This is what he uses to make his stuff, but he's always used that specific bit. So he doesn't have like tons of stuff. So whenever I'd always be like bringing stuff over to his house to watch him use it, because I was like, I didn't learn how to use it yet. And now like, so I'm just selling a bunch of stuff off. I'm getting one controller that controls my iPad. That's like pads and as a keyboard. Boom, all built in one. And that's all I'm going to use from now on. And then when I'm ready to perform live, I'll put it into the SP and I'll start manipulating it from the SP only live. And that's about it. Like that's the way to do it.
That's
really.
the one for sure, man.
Yeah, because I used to produce on the SP. It's a very hard thing to produce, and I just don't get why the more complicated it is, the more respect you get, even if the beat doesn't come out as good as the less complicated version.
Look, at the end of the day, you've already said it, man. MADLIB been doing it for 8 years or whatever on his iPad, so basically everybody else can, in the nice way, just shut the fuck up.
That's the truth, and nobody can tell him anything.
Yeah, because no one can. Imagine if Dre came out, as in Mr. Dr. Dre, and was like, "Oh yeah, me too."
Then next thing you know, iPad sales will go through the fucking roof, and I bet every single one that has an MPC and has this and has all this gear, next thing you know, they're going to be selling it off, and it's going to be, but I've been on the iPad flow for ages.
Exactly.
Fuck out of here. Anyway.
Well,
MADLIB, that's a well-deserved thing. He's super behind the scenes, super underground, doesn't really chat with anyone, doesn't hold interviews, doesn't play many shows. He's just...
Yeah, he seems...
reserved.
From the interview, I read that Complex one too, and it was very much, didn't really get a lot out of him. From the interviewer, didn't really get much out of him, which, fair enough.
That's him though. He's not that guy.
But like, I bet he's the type of guy that like, if you know him, like, it's fun as fuck and everything is great. But if you don't know him, he's just like, nah, it's cool.
He also doesn't do studio stuff though. Like he won't come to the studio and record with you. When Doom and him made Mad Villain, Doom's album, Doom was upstairs in his room and MADLIB was downstairs in his room, and they barely spoke to it. Like they didn't speak to one another. They said that they spoke to each other through their music. So they'd meet in the middle of the day, both stoned as hell. MADLIB would give him a CD. Doom would go back upstairs, record it, something like that, give him back the hard drive or whatever, and then MADLIB, and then he would just put beats on there, and that's all they would do. They would not talk to each other the entire time.
Well, that's exactly like just randomly like popped into my head. Elton John and his writer is the same thing. So their whole thing is that like Elton writes the music, the other dude is, you know, basically writes the lyrics, but they sit in completely separate rooms. Obviously they can hear what's going on, but it's like that's how they work. So I wonder if that's one of the key.
I think that's a good
ways to
footsie with me, ladies and gentlemen.
Key ways to be productive.
I think if you want to be a producer and you want to be known for your own stuff, because let's say if I'm making a beat and we're working on it together and I send you the beat and you go, oh well, maybe you should move this thing there, and you don't really then now it's not
Produced
the beat that I made. Now it's produced by both of us.
Yeah, I get you.
Where if you're working with a producer, you should love whatever they hand you. You should be able to murder. If you trust them enough, you'll use exactly what they're giving you, as opposed to a producer relationship where you're like, oh, let's move this around. And there's always some kind of like, because you created it, there's always a little bit of like this, not resentment, but like
Summing.
Oh, so that's not how I thought it was going to be. You know, the same thing as if you're writing rhymes on somebody else's beat and they go, oh, I think that you should rhyme this way. It's like, well, then at that point, it's not really the way that I intended it to come out.
Yeah.
So you got to almost trust that person knows that what they're doing is real.
Yeah.
But that's all I got to say. MADLIB, the best. 2019.
Boom. Shout out MADLIBs. MADLIB.
Lib.
Full
AKA
stop.
Quasimodo, AKA Lord Quaz, AKA Mad Villain.
That's it. That's your boy.
AKA Barry White, AKA the beat conductor, AKA the loop digger.
Loop digger.
So many names.
So,
You thirsty? You can keep talking to me.
I could go for a drink.
Max will pick me up.
I'll go for a drink. So we got a question from someone a few weeks back, but I'd already sort of written out the stuff for last week's. But the question has been proposed to us of what is the difference between rap and hip hop, and is there a difference?
I like that question.
Because I definitely think that it's like everybody has their own interpretation, and I definitely have a view on it, obviously, as I'm sure you do, and it'll be interesting because your view is from where basically, for argument's sake, where hip hop came from, for argument's sake.
Yeah, I'll say that.
And I come from the UK, so it is we.
That was my throat.
Yeah, hit me up. Well, what do you think is the difference between rap and hip hop, or is there a difference?
Yes, the way that I perceive it, hip hop is the genre that rap is based inside of.
Okay.
Rap is what you do. You rap, you rhyme, you spit, so rapping, there's rap music where there's music to rap to, but hip hop is the culture. Hip hop is a feeling. Hip hop is the bounce. Hip hop is the beat. Hip hop is the dancing, the clothes. Hip hop as a whole, but as a genre, hip hop is the genre. Because people say hip hop and R&B, and I don't consider R&B to be inside of hip hop, but I think hip hop slash R&B, that's its own genre.
Yeah, okay,
right
yeah,
there, because they fuse the two, rhythm and blues, and hip hop are two different things. But
They complement each other.
right, rap to me is what you do. Hip hop is who you are.
Okay, so that's really interesting because obviously, I mean, we've never actually spoken about this specific thing before. So it's interesting you say that because for me, someone who, I guess, transatlantic, compared with you, we almost word for word, we think the same thing.
Right.
Rap is something you do, hip hop is something you live. Shout out KRS
One.
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 Yeah, man, like I completely agree with you. You know, hip hop is, they talk about the 5 pillars of hip hop, or the 5 whatever pillars.
Breakdancing.
Yeah, breakdancing.
Graffiti.
Graffiti.
MCing,
or rapping /
looping, sampling, beat making,
DJ and producing type thing. Yeah,
producing,
so yeah, I think,
and then clothing.
yeah, I think that's definitely a side and a support to the pillars. But do you think that has been lost in the way it is today? Because I feel like back in the day, you kind of could differentiate between rap and hip hop. So an example would be your Tupac, your Biggie, your NWA would be. NWA for me is a bit on the cusp of rap and hip hop, but let's just say for argument's sake is rap. But then your De La Soul, your Gangstar, you know, they're your mob
Tribe,
Deep,
mob, yeah,
is all hip hop. You know, it's that education, it's that
Black Power,
all
empowerment,
empowerment,
Africa Bambata, Zulu Nation.
Zulu Nation. Do you think that, so the question I guess I'm asking is, do you think that hip hop and rap have kind of split ways, which, I mean, they kind of can't because rap is inside hip hop, but do you think rap is rap and hip hop is hip hop now? The way it is now?
At surprisingly positive note, I think that it's evolved. And now, like, hip hop from the beginning of time, because it's so new, we can't say what it is. Like, we're obviously 1994 was yesterday, and we loved the 90s boom bap style. But ever since starting this podcast, I'm starting to realize how we can't box it into just the 90s and the golden era and go, well, this was hip hop, everything else is trash. It's like, everything is evolving together, and it's actually kind of beautiful when you see, as much as we shat on it, when you see Nas and Lil Nas X, you when you look at it from back, right? When you look at it, you go like, damn, that's one to us that was like a king of an era, right? But to a little kid, Lil Nas X might be the king of that era. To a little kid, you know what I mean? The same way that when we were younger, when I was a little kid, Nas was like mythical, you know what I mean? And now to somebody else, even though we're older, we can't really picture it. Lil Nas X might be that mythical being to somebody else. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's cool how that can fuse. The same way of, let's say, a Tribe having Kendrick on a track. It's like, like Tribe could go, oh, well, that's all old stuff. But then you don't love the genre as a whole, because you have to understand that the genre is moving on. Jazz has moved on through different, blues has moved on, soul,
Absolutely.
Just in general, soul. If you look at soul from 50 years ago and you look at soul from today, the neo soul, the Daniel Caesars, the Her, all that stuff, it's a different beast. But you got to appreciate where it's come, or else we just sit back with our canes and gray hair and go, these kids don't know what they're talking about, and they're going, well, fuck you, grandpa, because you're not in our world, you don't care about it anyway, so we're not going to pay attention to you because you're not paying attention to us. The raddest thing that we can do is be that Kanye, be the one that takes a long Lil Pump, be the J. Cole that sits down with Lil Pump and goes like, what are you thinking, bro? You know, or be the Kanye that goes, let's make a track together and just be silly. Like, you can tell those guys are going to be great fathers because they're embracing the youth and going, I don't understand you, but let's try.
That's an interesting point that you bring up there. Be like a father. I think that's the key. Is, you know, people, these mumble rappers, etc., like that, like, they're doing their thing and all the rest of it, and how can they understand what came before them if no one taught them what was there before?
Right.
Not to say that they're gonna start rapping how maybe I would want them or want to see them rapping, but maybe with that knowledge it will help grow their mind and their mumbleness-esque trill, trap, whatever, drill, whatever it's called, to evolve into something that's even better and more encompassing, that all the old cats are like, oh shit, this is quite something, really fusing like that old with the with the new, and then that being the new, you know? Yeah, I back it.
But I think even with saying let's teach these kids what real hip hop is, let's say, right? Let's just say that was our argument. That's like Aerosmith. It's like AC/DC going to who's a huge metal band now? I don't really know. Let's just say there was generic emo metal band A, right?
Here.
So
yeah.
they AC/DC going and either going, well, that's not real metal. You guys are not. We're metal. We're metal. You guys are just emo pop stuff. Or they can go, oh, how cool that we inspired these kids to keep going and they took it their own way and now they're doing it.
Yeah.
Because hip-hop was a branch off from like disco. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
So it's like, so I guess disco can go, oh, well, that's not disco. You guys don't know disco.
Yeah,
This is where, and that's what they were doing in the beginning. And hip-hop was like, man, fuck you guys. We're doing our own thing.
Yeah.
So now that kids want to mumble and kids want to repeat the same lines over and over again, which is, if you really look at it, it's dying out, and it's dying out for the best. Like they're evolving into better rhymers.
Definitely evolving. It's 100% evolving.
They're dying. It's dying out. You listen to Vert, Lil Uzi Vert, and it's like, and he can spit bars now. You listen to other
Lil Yachty. He was one of him and Vert were two of the main people. I was just like, look, this is just awful. And I heard something maybe a week or so ago, and I was like, it's not, for me, it's not good, but like it's like lyrically it's not good, but I get what's like, I can see the evolution. You know what I mean? Like, and I was a bit more intrigued by it. Is that because I prefer more rhymes than not? I don't know, but it was a bit more interesting for me. I can understand it a little bit more, and I mean, don't get me wrong, some of those mumble tracks do go.
Some of them slap.
Like they
for
do.
Sure.
I don't know
at 1-4 and their drill stuff, and you go, ooh, I can see the mumble inspiration. I can see the trap. I can see the drill. I can see like everything come together to form this new subgenre, and it's going to keep forming new subgenres. That's the beauty of hip hop, is that there's unlimited amount of subgenres. You can be the king of monotone and be Guru, Gangstar,
right. Yeah.
or you can be the king of mumble and be Lil Wayne.
That's true. That's
the
true.
king of mumble. You can be the king of fast lyrics and be Twista, Busta Rhymes, and Eminem. The three kings of fast lyrics, fast rapping, fast spitting. Twista, who, Lord Almighty, he doesn't even need to do anything anymore.
Yeah.
He's already like etched in the books, even though his stuff wasn't ever like banging. Eminem can spit circles around many people fast. I'm not into the fast stuff though. I'm not attracted to it. And then you got Busta Bus, who's like,
Busta Bus is the one. He may not be the fastest, but he's the one.
He's the
bro.
one. He's the one.
Talking about fast rapping though, do you see that Godzilla challenge?
The Eminem Godzilla challenge?
Yeah.
I kind of, but I haven't been paying attention to it.
Okay, so for all you beautiful followers, subscribers, fans out there, we will post our version of the Godzilla
will we?
and challenge, and us trying to do it, because that would be pretty jokes, because I can't rap fast for my life. So yeah.
Is it someone rapping?
So it's
Eminem's
like
Godzilla.
Yeah.
So, the thing is that I don't even fucks with Eminem, so I wouldn't know the lyrics. Hence, I wouldn't even care to learn the lyrics.
Exactly, but that's why it makes it fun.
Okay,
So we're gonna throw it out there.
sure.
But yeah, so overall, rap is inside hip hop. Hip hop is the umbrella for
Yes.
the person in question asking.
Disco's the umbrella.
Yeah, disco. Disco is great. Don't get me wrong.
Roots music is the umbrella for fucking everything. If we're being legit, world music, African drums.
Yeah, I mean, let's be real.
That we wouldn't have anything, any music, period, without the original tribal instruments.
That's where it started. That's for
it.
sure.
From the beginning of time,
Since day.
spreading that leather over that little wood log,
Yeah.
making that drum, that boom, boom, boom.
The boom boom. Lastly, how humble can one be? Right? Waka Flocka Flame, if you remember that cat.
One hood ass.
Yeah. he was on Everyday Struggle, which is like a show on YouTube with DJ Academics.
Is that Complex?
Yeah, I believe it is. Yeah, it's got to be a Complex show. Yeah, it must be. Joe Budden used to be on it too.
Yeah.
And he said, and I quote, "I was a whack rapper. I knew I was whack, but I was real. See what I'm saying? My realness overcame my whackness." You reckon there's some truth in that, or?
Yes.
Crazy. Well,
I love when people can admit. I admit I was, bro. Go on YouTube, Google "Burn This Bows," and you see tracks from me when this was 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And I was terrible. But yeah, I like that. I like Waka Flocka more now.
Yeah.
After he goes, it was shit, but hey, it was the truth. And at the end of the day, if you're telling the truth, if you're being true to yourself and you fucks with your own thing, nobody could tell you anything.
That's it, man.
Even if we're up here telling you that you're shit, if you truly believe in yourself, that earns more respect than getting pissy about it.
Agree.
So,
well, moving on. Album / song of the week. Drake dropped a couple of tracks.
Incredible. The end. Mic drop.
He the first track, "When to Say When," he flipped Jay-Z's. For anyone who hasn't heard it, he flipped Jay-Z's "Song Cry," which is really dope. It's like the upside down version of the song, which I think is sick. For me, it was like another classic Drake track talking about his accomplishments, which I don't hate. And the other day, like I contradict myself, right? The other day I was saying how, all these people coming out just saying how they've got all this shit and what they've done and everything, I'm over it. Mm-hmm. But for some reason when Drake does it, it doesn't really matter. It's a nice tune, and I like the line, "Michael Jackson ain't shit, but the palace is not for kids." You know what I mean? That little nudge to MJ being a bit of a accused of messing with kids and shit, which is pretty gross. But yeah, what do you think of "When to Say When," the first track?
I saw the music video first. And yeah, so Marcy, that's like around the area where my mom grew up at.
But wait, is that not Chicago freestyle, or is that?
No, that's "When to Say When."
That is "When to Say When."
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So "When to Say When" was filmed in New York. He's wearing the New York Yankees jacket, the New York hat.
Yeah.
Standing in front of Marcy Projects, where Jay-Z grew up, shaking hands with the Bloods, chilling, just running New York. And you know what the crazy thing is? I looked at that and I was like, man, he could do that all day. Yeah. He's not even from New York, but no. I'm cool with that. Like, he's showing love. So 100%. Let's do it, Drake. I love it. I think that I love these tracks so much more than when he tries to make radio bangers, but I understand the importance of radio bangers. He needs to make that money so that he can go and then make little tracks like this and release on SoundCloud.
100%
for no money.
Yeah, well, it's the same. That's like what Fat Joe, the Big L and Big Pun's killer, Fat Joe. Yeah, that's the same what he did. Well, he just would release radio tunes, like whatever, they're kind of cool, but whatever. But then the rest of his album was fucking sick. You know what I mean? The second track that he put out, and as Angel mentioned, it was like he just posted on Instagram, "Go check this SoundCloud link for 2 tracks, leaked tracks or whatever," which is cool. Chicago freestyle. Now, again, anyone who hasn't listened, it starts with piano and this R&B vocalist named Givon, I think is how you would say it. Now, you know me, man. I love piano. And so I'm already invested in it. I really back that track. I think it's freaking sick. I really liked how he reused Eminem's lyrics from Superman. It's interesting because, so basically, the way M was saying those lyrics was that he isn't ready to handle like other women's problems type thing, right? And he's just using women to like satisfy his needs. Whereas like Drake's spin on it is more so is saying like he's gotten tired of quick relationships and looking for something more serious, which is really cool. So it's like, you know, using the exact same thing but it meaning completely something different, or not something completely different, but, you know, flipped it on his head.
Yeah, which
Really
he's great
sick.
at doing.
Yeah, really, really good. I was really impressed by that, man. Like, yeah, really good. Beat was amazing. Thoughts?
I loved it. Also loved it. Again, release one of those a month, 12 a year. Nobody will say anything.
I know.
Just as a quick correction, I'm looking at the lyrics here. He says, 500 mil and I fall back to the 6. Finally gave you niggas the space you need to exist. Michael Jackson shit, but the palace is not for the kids. So he didn't say Michael Jackson ain't shit.
I meant, yeah,
Michael Jackson shit, as in like he's super, super, super rich.
Yeah.
And secluding himself so that he can give other people a chance to shine, but the palace not for the kids.
Yeah.
So
Good correction.
Yeah, at first I was like, what? He said Michael Jackson ain't shit? Because that would have had to bring out the hands for that, you know what I'm saying? Just one of those pause.
But yeah,
Good.
sick.
Yeah, I liked it. 10 out of 10, Drake. 10 out of 10.
Yeah, good on you, mate. Because Scorpion was a bit. Scorpion was a bit. How you going? But moving on. First impressions. So this is in our first impressions. We got a couple of tracks here. They're produced and featuring the one and only my co-host, Mr. Neon Belly, Angel Monsanto himself. Kansas dropped on Saturday.
That's why you kept it a secret.
Loving the cover art, by the way.
Thank you.
Pure fire. What made you think of the name Kansas? And with the artwork, what's up with that?
The reason I chose the name Kansas is because I didn't want to name it Pandora, and I really wanted to use that line from Avatar, where it says, "You're not in Kansas anymore. You're in Pandora." And I just, that was like the name that I put on the just as a placeholder. The name was "You're Not in Kansas Anymore," and I was just like, that's a bit whack. And as I kept listening to it, I was just like, let's just call it Kansas for now. And then when I released it, it was still called Kansas. So there was absolutely no meaning behind the name.
That's good.
Other than I
like
wanted to use the sample.
Nice. And the cover art?
Cover art was inspired by my friend Jay-Z, who shot a photo when it was the fires, and the sun was really, really red, and it was almost pink.
So that's a photograph.
So that is a photograph. That's not one of his photographs. I was going to use one of his photographs, and then for some reason I couldn't get it to line up because the sun was always like in a strange angle, and I couldn't have it right in the middle of anything because it was off to the side. So I forgot who the photographer was, but it's a royalty-free image from the exact. So it looks like it's of the exact same thing, and yeah, it kind of just looked like a planet. And I wanted to go with the space theme of like Kansas, you're not in Kansas anymore, you're on Pandora. So that whole vibe of that is Pandora. That's where you're about to head when you listen to my EP. Yeah. You're about to leave Kansas, which I just told you were in, but now you're not. Yeah, so that's the whole point of like Kansas was the name coming up to the release, and the first thing that you hear is you're not in Kansas anymore. Yeah, and it's like, but I thought I was. I thought that's what this whole thing was about.
Yeah, for shit, where are we going?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, so basically, because you wrote and produced it, it's more so my first impressions, and then basically. So, How to Disappear would be, so you got the intro, the sample, and then How to Disappear is track 1. Ad-libs are fire.
Thanks, bro. That's my alter ego, Ty Bolo.
Yeah, fire. I love how
I'll tell him
I love how I love how you're having a conversation with yourself. Yeah, you know what I mean. Like I really like how we're going on like a little journey with you when you're leaving your house or whatever. But then we can hear your inner thoughts. Yeah. I picture it like this: like you leave your house and you're just walking down the street somewhere, just talking to yourself, but not like out loud. Is that like what you were trying to?
That's exactly what I was trying to do.
Oh, how good's that?
Yeah. So
sick.
Ultimately, Ty Bolo is you know, your subconscious.
Yeah.
Where it was like, when I say, telling me to pack a knife, go ahead and give me life. I'm flashing back to when my friend Vito was telling me to pack a knife, and in my mind I'm thinking, don't pack it. Don't. And then
Back in Brooklyn days.
Yeah, back in Brooklyn. So, and knew that all my friends were carrying knives, and I just knew in the back of my head, like, don't do it.
Yeah.
And then go ahead and give me life. That's like, and next thing you know, I get life in prison for holding a knife, you know? So it's kind of like every time I'm thinking something, Ty Bolo is there, just supporting that idea and encouraging me through the entire thing.
Yeah.
He's going to make an appearance on a few other tracks for sure. That's some of people's favorite. Their ad-libs, the ad-libs is like one of their favorite parts, especially when it's like, they were never really nice. That's inspired by like the jobs that I've worked at. And like, even though people are nice to you to your face, they're not actually fucking with you.
Yeah, they're
or
just
else you'd know
smiling
in real life. You'd know in real life if people fuck with you or not. And it's like, they were never really nice. And he says, say it again. And I said, I think I might have to say it twice. And then they were never really nice. It's like, I'm just standing firm on, like, this is my way of calling out the people that I've worked with in the past and present, with the exception of a very small few, that it's like, I know that you're just being nice to me because we work together.
Yeah.
Outside of it, you do not fucks with me at all.
Yeah.
And I guess that's the hard part about having social media and Instagram and stuff, is like, you end up, life is supposed to filter people out naturally, but you end up holding on to these toxic people because of social media.
Yeah.
Think about it.
That's
like,
true.
Back in the day,
If you didn't see
you
someone,
didn't see someone, that's it.
Yeah.
But now it's like, you have your coworker from 4 years ago that you didn't like anyway, but it's like, oh, well, if I unfollow them, then they're gonna know, and then they're gonna feel some type of way. And what if I ever see them again? It's like, you shouldn't feel that way. So there's a little part of me that's like, man, fuck this. I'm about to like straight go ham on that little following page, which is a conversation for another day.
Yeah.
But as a avid Instagram user, it's something that, I think about all the time. It's like, man, you're not actually nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, that song meant a lot to me. And I sampled my favorite Lana Del Rey song, How to Disappear. And I named it How to Disappear as like an homage to Lana Del Rey.
Yeah, and I'm a massive Lana Del Rey fan as well.
She's fucking sick.
Yeah, she's pretty amazing. Awesome track.
Thanks,
and
man.
it's good to hear that there'll be more of your alter ego. What's his name again?
Ty Bolo. He
Ty
wears
Bolo.
bolo ties.
I love it. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to hearing a collab between you and your inner self. Again, I like that.
It's like J. Cole and Kill Edward.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a very fun track to make. I made that while I was visiting. I was staying on farmland in Queensland for Christmas.
Yeah.
So I just had a lot of time to just think and like be by myself. And
Yeah.
I was in a trailer, like we were not camping, but we were in like a camper.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was cool.
Sick.
Thanks for that.
And then track 2 is Intermission. Now this one, it's so funny, like not funny. It's so different beat wise from How to Disappear, right?
Yeah.
So for me, when I the initial thought, as soon as the beat starts, you come in with like this Hollywood style produced joint. You know what I mean? Like this big massive production, like boom, like yo, we're in Hollywood now, motherfucker. Like you know, we're in big things, cinematic shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I loved how it was just straight into it, no bullshit. Just like within the first 5 seconds or 3 seconds, like you start rapping.
1 second.
Is
The
that
first
what it
thing is, poof, yo.
Yeah, and then
that's
done. It's it. Yeah. Really like that straight into it. Really love the line, like a white girl in Haiti. I'm about the mission. Took a break from church, but now I'm back. I call it intermission. Woo! Hello.
Thank you.
What up? My man. And then you follow it up by it's God who has it is God who has created me to be the greatest MC in my apartment. Ooh, like
I don't dare call myself the greatest MC.
Nah,
I wouldn't dare.
but in your own apartment, you
In my apartment,
Just
I can
like
murder
everybody. Yeah.
I can murder everybody as long as they step within those doors. They're fucking. I'm a shark.
Yeah.
and they're in water.
So, a homage to your faith.
Yes. It's just a declaration of my faith. I kind of stepped away from Christianity as a whole. I went to a church that it was all about the cultiness of church, and it was fucking weird, and you don't realize it until you're kind of back out of it. But now, and then that drove me away from my faith for a while, drove me away from religion as a whole. I started to lose kind of my faith in God, and things started to get a bit sad with just life. I was just wasting time, and I didn't know what I wanted to do, and things like that. And then I got some encouragement from my wife, and she's like, I think you're put on this earth for better things, and all this stuff. And we found a little church 40 minutes away in Cronulla that was, that was just like rad, and they embraced us and welcomed us, and I didn't feel judged, and I felt like loved. And after I started going to that church, I wrote this song to kind of say like, yo, I'm back. You know what I mean? Because the other church was about like this, how you looked, how you dressed, who you knew, blah, 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 like all that stuff. So that's why it starts off as 2020. I'm over the riches. I'm over like what you guys consider to be riches. You know, I'm overtired. I'm overfed. I'm overtired because I was volunteering all the time with no, thank you. No, like, take some time off. You look tired. You know, I'm overfed because I'm like, they're always feeding you this bullshit all the time about how you're great and you're a leader and all this stuff. And I'm over you snitches. And that's just because I felt like everyone that was there they were always just talking shit behind your back all the time. And like, oh, did you see that they're doing this? And did you see I think he smokes weed. And I think that, you know, and it's just like, fuck it, man. It's like, and that's why, and I also make a nod to like a white girl in Haiti. I'm all about the mission. Yeah. Often people, like traditionally the white girls that go to Haiti are there for like the Instagram pics and taking photos of the babies and the virtue signaling. So I'm shooting my shots.
Of course you are. You love shooting shots. Yeah, every week, shoot shots.
Bam, bam. I'm about to shoot more shots in a second.
Oh shit, good segue. But no, so look, overall, man, like really, I mean,
Thanks, brother.
you know, I'm a big fan, regardless.
I appreciate that.
But yeah, nice drop. Check it out on Spotify and all streaming platforms, right?
Every single one on the planet.
Yeah. Okay, there you go, people.
40 something streaming platforms.
Check out Kansas. And when you do check that out, you'll see some of the other tracks that Angel has dropped and produced himself.
Yes, sir.
I believe all of them are, aren't they?
Most of them are, yeah.
There's a couple that aren't, I guess.
Some of them are produced by friends. I'm about to post 2 old tracks that I used to have.
Yeah.
Both produced by Broke Boy.
Okay,
who's a friend who's been, just doing his thing. That kid is a fucking beast, but it's cool. We came up around kind of the same time, and now he's like he put out his tape the same day that I put out my tape.
Oh, sick.
So it was like, just all love. Yeah. So
Sweet.
Shout out to Broke Boy.
Well, big ups, man. Congratulations.
Thank you, G.
Really enjoyed the live stream sort of like release party type thing. That was sick idea. Back it. More in the future.
Thank you.
And lastly, so we often sort of like say to you guys out there, you know, send us any sort of music you want to promote or anything like that. So going on with that, definitely we're all about that. Like, you know, if you want us to have our first impressions on your music and stuff, slide into the DMs, start a conversation, or email. The email is on Instagram. Send us tracks and we'll definitely have a little look. But don't get me wrong, sometimes you might not like what you hear. So
we'll always be honest.
We'll always be honest with you guys. So why don't you start off? This guy, Young Freeman.
Yeah.
Reached out, like, thank you, appreciate reaching out and everything, my man. Sending the tracks through. You want to go first?
Yes, I'm gonna go first only because, and this is not a nod to the person. I don't know the dude.
No, by the way, neither. This guy's from Knoxville, I think.
I don't know. Yeah,
which is like somewhere in America.
But
Tennessee maybe or some shit.
We don't know the guy. Shout out to you for putting your music out there. Again, like I always say, if you fucked with your own music, that's the most important thing, regardless of what anybody else thinks on the whole entire planet.
Yeah.
The whole reason to make music is because it makes you better as a human being. If your friends fuck with it, that's amazing. Not everybody needs to fuck with it. And now I'm going to go first because I
go.
know your views on it, and they are quite positive, and I felt the opposite. So I'm going to kind of read off of the notes.
I might, my views might change after hearing what you say as well.
So the notes, so, hey, my wife's home. That's what the sound was for. So I'm saying, I pretty much said Young Freeman is...
Do it. It's all good.
It's probably the worst music I heard all week.
Ooh,
you can't take a doom beat and not do it justice. You can't take a MF doom beat and not do it justice. You cannot take a doom beat at all if your name is not Joey Badass and your album ain't called 1999.
Truth.
As you try your hardest in music, like myself right now, trying very hard, and you realize how much goes behind the proper production, it makes me cringe that this guy can't even sort his own levels out. The levels, like his vocals are really loud and the instrumental's low, or the instrumental's loud. Like it's something so simple. Everybody has headphones or a speaker. Just put enough effort into it to level it out so that it's enjoyable for the listener to listen to. He's a Cypress Hill Be Real ripoff with absolutely no flow, no knowledge of how many rhymes to fit into a bar, and you can tell there's not even an ounce of effort into making it bumpable. If there's anybody that knows me, they know that I do not like Be Real. I do not like Cypress Hill. I think his voice is very annoying. I understand that they're legends and that they're, they help pave the way. Okay, yeah, cool, but I think his voice is very annoying. When you try to fit too many words into a bar, into a set of bars. How you doing there, Jane? Hey, Jane? You right there?
I just don't want smell that being out of the fridge for now.
That's my wife. She just came home from food shopping. And she hasn't eaten all morning, so she's super grumpy. In her defense, we were supposed to be done with the podcast by now, but shout out to her for being a champ. Anyway, to get back to this, hip hop is supposed to make you move, bounce. So when you're dancing, you know what's good. Whether you're bopping your head, and that's when you know it's good. If it makes you bump your head. His music just made me want to throw my phone off the balcony. Listen, I'm just writing the genuine truth. I'm not trying to shoot fires to this guy. I love that he's doing what he's doing, right?
You keep going.
The first beat was a beat that I heard 1,000 times before, and the second beat was a snippet of New York Legends' Standing on the Corner song, made by Earl Sweatshirt. Song made for Earl Sweatshirt's Some Rap Songs track On the Way. So that song On the Way, that's produced by Standing on the Corner, these New York cats who are incredible. This kid just took that beat and just rapped over it and made a music video for it and everything. He didn't even manipulate it one bit. He didn't like reverse it or add a delay or something like that.
And also did claim that he produced both those beats.
Yes, and so which you didn't. So and that might blow by other people who don't know who Standing on the Corner is because they're not famous or who don't listen to much Earl Sweatshirt. But as soon as I heard it, I thought I said, "Oh, that's from On My Way, Some Rap Songs by Earl Sweatshirt." And the weird thing is that Earl Sweatshirt released Some Rap Songs in 2018. This cat released that song in 2017.
Yeah, I saw that.
So that was a year before Earl Sweatshirt's Some Rap Songs. So he must have got that sample from somewhere else, from Standing on the Corner somewhere else. Yeah. Maybe he doesn't even know that Earl Sweatshirt used that track.
Yeah.
Anyway, I know how it feels because I had a track that I was really, really proud of that I produced, and I used Blue Magic, What's Come Over Me, to produce that track. And I went on YouTube and I looked at a Arab music kind of produce a beat on the spot, kind of a rhythm roulette it's called, where he picks a CD blindfolded and he produces, and he picked the exact same CD from the exact same band and the exact same song off the CD that I used. The exact same sample time, the same chop, the exact same chop that I used, he used it and he made it 20 times better.
Wow.
So I can't release that track because Arab music already murdered it. There's so much respect for that dude that it's like, no, I'm not even going to try to release that track. There's no point. So that's the That's all. I understand how it feels, my G. Like when you think that your track is really good and then somebody else does it better. Not 1 ounce of that track was original. Not 1 second of it flowed properly. But I give him 2 points for trying, which brings him up to a -3 out of 10.
Oh.
Now with Cloudy, I can tell that he produced this track because the vocals are off key, and it seems like the kind of guy to not notice when something's off pitch. I don't know the dude, but from what I've heard, the attention to detail is not there. Again, it sounds like Be Real, and he spends most of his time talking about weed and how awesome weed is, while
Can
trying
I
to
just interject?
It is.
real quick?
I know it's called like the weed tapes or something like
The
that.
albums, yeah.
Listen to when you smoke weed. I don't. But it's like you
Go
don't
on.
have to tell
I
them
know.
and sell it to people, and
Yeah,
then
that's
tell
true.
them over and over and over. Like let them. It can be called listen to when you're smoking or whatever it's called, but you don't have to keep telling them like, please listen to this when you're smoking. It's like that throws me off.
Well, yeah, it just probably makes me go, nah, I
Right.
just listen to something else.
So again, it sounds like Be Real, and he spends most of his time talking about weed, trying to fit in too many syllables into a bar, and spitting the most simple Simon rhymes. He'll rum.
He'll
He will
rum.
rhyme dog with jog with fog with log. It's like very simple. You have potential to do better. You really do. There's about 30% of me that believes what I just said right now. You have potential to do better. And you should keep going, because who gives a fuck what I think? That's the ultimate truth.
The thing is, when you say that, it's interesting you say that, because going back on his YouTube, because it seems like he hasn't dropped any music anywhere except for just YouTube.
SoundCloud.
Is there SoundCloud?
He's on SoundCloud. Yeah. The
Oh, I
link
tried
is-
looking
the
up, I
link
couldn't
is in
find
his YouTube.
Oh, is it?
bio,
Okay.
Yeah.
On YouTube, it seemed like the first video was 10 years ago or 9 years ago. So
So he's been doing it for a while.
So it's been doing it for a bit of a while. That doesn't make sense. Well, all right. Well, is that you?
That's it. Mic drop.
Okay.
But we love you. Ultimately, like, this is coming straight from love. And as a fellow hip hopper, everyone needs honest opinions. Everyone needs honest opinions.
Oh, absolutely. One of the first times that we probably hung out, I was very honest with
Yeah.
you with
Yeah.
some of your stuff.
Everyone needs honest opinion. Whether you're going to take it on board or not,
Yeah.
you need to know what somebody else is thinking, because that's the true friend, the one that's
Yeah.
telling you the God's honest truth.
Exactly.
The one who's just going, oh, this is rad, and they don't actually want to tell you, they're the ones that don't actually want to see you succeed, my G. So big love and good bravery for submitting that track.
So, my opinion, got the funk ready, the first track. The beat is obviously amazing. I like that the chorus. I feel like I'm clutching at straws now. No offense, young Freeman. The chorus is real catchy. The flip of the beat. Did you listen all the way through, like the whole 7 minutes?
Yes. I skipped through.
Okay, yeah, like
couldn't,
how you do,
yeah.
yeah. So when it flips to the other beat, which is I think the beat,
The Earl Sweatshirt beat.
yeah,
It just goes black and white, and he's like sitting on a couch. or
yeah, that's right,
something.
yeah. So what would have been really cool is if he had done that halfway through, like after like a verse and a half, and then it just suddenly just flipped
Yeah.
like that. That would have been really cool.
Or if he just didn't take the beat at all and just made his own kind of thing. But at the same time, it's hip hop. We're sampling. You know what I mean?
Well, there's a
J-
difference between sampling and then taking the piss.
Yeah, but Joey Badass took Doom's beat and murdered it.
Yeah, but it's Joey Badass. So
Well, this is
young Freeman.
Young Freeman. So
that was my thoughts basically on the first track. Cloudy, produced by himself. Whoever's singing on the track, I thought was fire.
she was off key.
I really like that though. I thought it was good.
You like that she was off key?
I liked it.
As a person who can sing, it makes me cringe because there's autotune. Autotune is free. Just saying.
Just
Continue.
saying. I actually quite liked that it was quite simple. It may have been. I mean, I listened to it at about 12:30, 1 o'clock last night. So maybe I was quite tired. So that's why I quite enjoyed it.
I listened to it at like 9 in the morning or whenever you sent the thing. So
Yeah.
8:30 in the morning,
Yeah.
which I wake up grumpy every day. So maybe that's why I felt that way too.
No, I don't think so.
All right, never mind. I try to save myself, but
But no, it just felt like we were like going through like a city or forest or something. Just it did exactly what I think he wanted it to do. Like it made me feel like I was just chilling, blazing, and like we were kind of in a conversation. I quite liked Cloudy,
cool.
but overall, I echo the majority of what you're saying as well. Like, you know, you can never have it every way you want. You know, you can't expect to send us tracks and then we ride you.
We will always be honest.
Yeah.
That's one thing you could trust us for.
So send in your tracks for first impressions.
Yep. And feel free to review my track and let me know if you think it's cool or you think it's shit.
Absolutely.
I'm real interested all the time.
But apart from that, moving on. Any sort of comments, feedbacks that you have had?
Nope.
Same. That's the end of that.
Boom. Moving on.
Moving on. Anything that you know, like that's good, worth talking about, that's happening in Sid this week or coming up? I don't think there is. I haven't seen
ASAP
it.
Ferg at the Star. You will catch me there.
Oh, on Saturday.
Gotta support my boy.
Is it Saturday?
Friday.
Friday.
At the Star. ASAP Ferg will be in Sydney.
That's a casino for anyone who's not sure. It's in Darling Harbour.
Yeah, something like that. So yeah.
Yeah,
if
sick.
you are there, let us know. Or let me know.
Come say hi.
Aaron doesn't like ASAP. Just telling you now.
Yeah, that's
Just
conspiracy theories.
any of the ASAPs. He doesn't like any of them.
Look,
The entire mob.
that
He also said Wu-Tang Clan is trash.
that is definitely not what I said. I have shut the fuck up. Wu-Tang is the greatest. Yeah, I probably won't be there.
Yeah, cool. That's fine.
But yeah, I mean, anything else you want to add or any other shots you want to fire?
Nope. I feel like I've done enough.
Your clip is empty.
My clip is empty.
All right. Well, thank you for listening, everyone. Remember, subscribe, etc. Write review. That would be dope.
Make sure it's 5 stars.
Make sure it's 5 stars if you want. Send us your.
We're gonna get 1 4-star review, and it's gonna be from Young Freemason or whatever his name is.
yeah, Freemason.
What's his name?
Freeman.
Young Freeman. Yeah. There we go.
Change your name to Young Freemason. That's way better.
If you change your name to Young Freemason, I will give you 100% props at all times, regardless of how trash your track is.
Bless you. So yeah, send in your tracks. Let us know any feedback, comments, etc. Slide into the DMs, and see you next Wednesday.
Peace.